Hello, everybody. Today we are going to see the book Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is the well-known business expert, right? In the last 2 decades, right? In the last 3 decades. So he used the expertise in business time management and has achievement, right? The law of achievement, right? He's the most incredible person that I have ever studied within a lot of times. And this book also too interesting. Just I need to give you 10 takeaways that you need to just understand for your life to better understand how you're gonna make it. Just prioritizing how you're gonna just do all the stuff effectively and increase your performance, right? The first one is prioritize tasks, right? The first takeaway is prioritizing your task. That means you have to focus on your most important task. That means the frog, right? First thing in the morning, as this will have the greatest impact on your success, right? You have to prioritize the task, the most important task, the big frog, right? So how you do that, right? We may need to identify your frogs, right? First you have to identify to focus on the important task or the frog. You have to identify your frog, right? That means you have to determine which tasks are the most critical and will have the biggest impact on your goal in the future, right? Once you identify your frogs, right? And then after you can practice daily. You can prioritize it, right? That means you have to start each day by identifying your top priority or the biggest frog tasks and plan to tackle them first, right? First in the morning, because as the morning your energy is powerful, or you are energetic, right? In the morning, so just you have to eat the biggest frog in the morning. Then once you prioritize, you have to stay committed, right? Staying committed, that means focus on the completing this priority task or this action before moving on to the less important activities, right? That is so. The second takeaway is that we need to take from this book is what? Set clear goals, or having a clear goals, right? That means clearly define your goals and objectives, so you know what you are working towards and just can better prioritize your tasks, right? So how to implement this, right? First you may need to have a smart goal, right? You may need to have a smart goal. That means you have to ensure your goals are specific, your goals are measurable, your goals are achievable, and your goals are relevant and time bound, right? You have to just ensure, right? You have to make sure your goal is achievable, it's measurable, it's specific enough, it's relevant enough, it's time bounded enough, right? Then after you have to write down goals in a paper, right? You may need to writing down has incredible effect on your goals, right? Unless you write your goals, right, it's really difficult, right? If you're not just writing your goals in paper, it's really hard to achieve, right? So write down your goals, document your goals to create a clear road map, right? So the other maybe break down goals. If your goal is big enough to implement, you have to break it down, right? Divide large goals into smaller and manageable tasks, right? So the other principle or takeaway that we need to take from this Eat That Frog book is what? Plan and organize. You need to just plan and organize, right? So you have to create a to-do list or a not to-do list too, right? And plan your day in advance, right? And also you have to organize your tasks based on their importance and deadlines, right? That is how you're gonna just plan and organize your goals, right? How? The first thing, you have to create a daily to-do letter, right? Or a to-do list, right? That means you have to write down tasks for each day, prioritizing them based on the importance and deadlines in the morning, right? Or maybe at the evening, right? I maybe need to write them as evening, right? So the other is use tools. You may need to use tools, right? There is a lot of tools that help us to just that help us to plan and organize, right? You maybe use a calendar tool. There is a lot of tools that you may need to utilize, planning tools like maybe calendar, planner, or digital apps to organize tasks, right? So the other is review and adjust. You may need to review and adjust, right? That means you have to regularly review your plans and make adjustment as needed to stay on track, right? That is so. The fourth takeaway that you need to take from this book is what start with the most important task, right? You must start with the most important task. It's the biggest frog, right? That is so. Tackle your most challenging or important tasks first to build momentum and gain a sense. Just you have to gain a sense of what accomplishment, right? So you may need to do all this stuff, right? How you are going to just start with the most important task? How you gonna know, right? You may the first maybe identify key tasks. What is the key task? You must identify first, right? Right. That means you have to determine which task is the most important or challenging. You have to identify those tasks, right? You have to write down, right? 1 up to 3, A, B, C, or whatever you just you have to identify those things. Then once you identify, you have to commit to starting, right? You have to begin your day by working on these tasks and dedicating focused time to make a significant progress, right? That is so. The other is what monitor progress. You may need to monitor the progress, right? That means you have to track your progress on this task or key tasks and adjust your approach if needed, right? If necessary, right? So the other takeaway that we take from this book is what avoid procrastination, right? Never be procrastinator. That means you have to overcome procrastination by just taking action immediately and avoiding distraction, right? By avoiding distraction, right? So how to just avoid this procrastination? The first maybe you need to identify procrastination triggers. What make you trigger? What make you to procrastinate? You have to identify those things, right? Once you understand them, or you have to recognize what caused you to procrastinate. Example, maybe fear of failure. You may have just perfectionism. What are those triggers? What are those things? Maybe lack of money. What are those things? You have to identify those things, right? First. And the other one is break tasks into smaller steps. You may need to just break tasks into smaller tasks or steps, right? Make a task less daunting by breaking them into smaller, manageable steps, right? So the other point is set a deadlines. Setting a deadline is also very crucial, right? That means you have to create a self-imposed deadlines to create a sense of urgency, right? That is so. The 6 points that we need to take is what work in block of time, right? You need to work in a block of time, right? You may use a time management technique like the use a time management technique like Pomodoro technique, or to work in focused block of time with short break in between, right? That means how you gonna just work in block of time, right? First, Pomodoro technique. Work for 25 minutes, then take 5-minute break, repeat the cycle 4 times, then take a longer break, right? That is, you may or set a timer. You may need to set a timer alarm, right? Use a timer to keep track of work and break periods, right? So you may need to adjust as needed, right? If you want, you can adjust as you need it, as you desire, as you want. I find the block of time or the length of time that works best for you, and just adjust as necessary, right? Because everyone is different, so you may need to adjust as necessary you would like to have. The 7th takeaway that we need to take is what single tasking, not multitasking, right? Multitasking carries what productivity, and focus on one task at time to do it well, right? So how we are going to just focus on one task or single tasking, how we are going to develop those things, those skill, right? Because most of the time we wander with a multitask and we do nothing. But how we do this, right? The first maybe eliminate distraction, right? By eliminate distraction, you need to eliminate distractions, right? You have to create a workspace free from distraction to focus on one task at a time, right? So the other maybe prioritize tasks. You may need to prioritize the task, right? You have to prioritize the tasks that focus on completing one task before moving on to the next, right? And the other maybe use task management tool, right? You may need to use a task management tool, right? That means tools like maybe tasks list and project management software can help us to stay organized and focused, right? By using those tools, you can use task management tools, right? The eighth principle that we need to use is practice the ABCD method. This is the easiest method, right? ABCD method is the easiest and the simplest method that you have to use it for better productivity, right? That means prioritize tasks using this method, ABCD methods, where A tasks are the most important and E tasks are what? Eliminated, must be eliminated, alright? D tasks are what? Delegated, alright? B tasks are less important than A tasks. C tasks are less important than B tasks. Like this, you can this method, right? The most important task is what? A tasks. Unless you finish A task, you never go to the B task, right? So that is how to do this. How to use these ABCD tasks, right? First, you have to categorize tasks. You have to assign each tasks a letter from A to E based on its importance, right? The most important is A task, the less important is E task, right? So A means what? Must do. That means high impact, high priority, right? B task means what? Should be done. That means important but not critical, right? The other C task means what? Nice to do, but it's optional, low impact, low consequence, right? D task means delegate. It must be delegated. It needs to be delegated. Tasks that other can do, other people's can be do, right? Better than you, right? And E task means what? Eliminate, right? Eliminating the task, right? Tasks that does not what need to be done, right? You must eliminate those tasks that are distractions, right? And also focus on a task, prioritize and complete a task first, right? Delegate or eliminate means identify tasks to delegate or eliminate to streamline your work load, right? So the 9 takeaways that we need to take from this book is what? Delegate when possible. When possible, delegate any tasks, right? Because you can do better at other tasks, right? So delegate tasks that others can do to free up your time for high value activities, right? We may need to do this. So how to implement this? Right? How to delegate our tasks to other people, because other people may not do well as we. So how we are going to delegate the tasks for other people? The first one is identify delegatable tasks. What are the tasks to be delegated? Yeah, you have to identify those tasks, right? You have to determine which tasks can be delegated to others, right? And also you have to choose the right person, right? Choosing the right person also very important. That means you have to select someone capable and available to task on the task, right? And take on the task, right? And the other one is provide clear instruction to those people who you are going to delegate, right? You have to ensure the person understand what is required and how the resource needed to be complete the task, right? And the other one is follow up, right? Following up, that means you have to monitor progress and you have to provide support as necessary, right? For those who you delegate the task, right? That's really important. So the last and the most important takeaway that we take is what? Continuously improve, right? You have to regularly review and adjust your goals, priorities to stay on track and improve your productivity over time. How you are going to just continuously improve yourself, right? How? Right? The first may be regular reviewing, right? Schedule regular review of your goals, your tasks, and the progress that you are making, right? The other may be seeking feedback from others, right? You may need to just seek feedback from your friend, your employee, or any person, right? You have to obtain feedback from peers, maybe mentors or supervisors, to identify areas for improvement, right? What area to be improved. You get to understand those things. And the other may be adjust planning as needed, right? just be flexible and willing to adjust your plans and strategies based on the feedback and changing circumstances, right? That is, so by using these strategies you can increase your performance and productivity, right? And this is the most and incredible book, so you need to read it to become more productive and efficient in your work, in your area of just working, right? So I really recommend this book.